Left, right, out again. No, the interesting update I'm gonna give you right here because if you're watching the markets, obviously the markets are down over um, the invasion, and the oil markets are popping pretty hot. I think they touched $100 a barrel, maybe even slightly over. I think last I checked it was like 96. Still, it's a pretty good little pop. And one of the things is, if you're looking at the traders, apparently there was a little leak from some of the banks. They're wanting to stay away from Russian stuff, obviously, and that makes sense, right? Because they don't know what's coming down the pipeline. Biden's about to speak here any minute or whatever. If he probably shows up late, but apparently they're not extending credit, which, hey, that's what that's what our governments, NATO allies have talked about, sanctioning credit to Russia, which, hey, that's fine. So in turn, the Russian petroleum industry, or some of these various petroleum companies, offering discounts on their oil, sizable discounts. I think $9-10 a barrel or something like that. But it's interesting because that's leaked, so people are staying away from Russian crude oil. Our traders are, they don't want to get caught up in any of these sanctions. That's what has been told in this article here. So you can see the turmoil in the financial markets, more particularly the energy industry. But here's the other thing I've alluded to, or I've told you this in previous videos. The Chinese have come out and they've already signed an agreement for natural resources. I believe it's oil, $100-something billion deal with Russia. They have come out and essentially, so a neutral to supportive role in Russia's actions. I think they're anticipating further business deals with them with regards to energy. And they also want to garner support for what we've talked about. The more pertinent issue in the world is a possible takeover of Taiwan, or reunification is what they would call that. And that's how I believe they're referring to this Donbass incursion and eastern Ukraine incursion, or we call it invasion. So you're looking at, like I said, pushing Russia into China's arms, and pushing, and China has wide arms because they really want it. They know what they got when they get a Russian ally. So don't think that any of these sanctions are really hurting them. And yeah, in the short run, they're trying to discount their oil. They're trying to get it on the market, and it's going to hurt a few of these companies at first until these deals start coming through with nations like Iran and China, who is, resource hungry, right? So once you get that in line, and then of course other BRIC nations, but a lot of these other BRIC nations, they do have their own oil supply, but China doesn't. China, well, I guess they could, but currently they don't have enough. They need to import. So having a agreement with them is essential, and this works right into China's hands. What we've done by pushing Russia into their arms. And the more pertinent issue now, when you look, because I know I've talked about it, and a lot of people are talking about what's going on right now in Ukraine, but we have to look at the next step. What is the next tactical operation, or the second and third order effects of this? These are going to flow into the Taiwan situation easily. I mean, if it doesn't happen, these things happen years and years. Like I said, this Ukrainian thing is, and essentially it started, well, you could say the major kickoff is in 2014, and then but it was obviously before, but the major events. But now we're seeing this this push for strategic alliances over there with China, Russia, and other various nations. And China's influence is now just going to be bolstered, and they're going to solidify a supply of natural resources. So our own economic sanctions on them aren't going to do very, very much. Like I said before, they're a manufacturing powerhouse, and we are on the downgrade. We're late stage Roman Empire at best, and the only other thing I think on the financial side of thing is this is going to provide cover for Powell not to raise interest rates. Maybe not even at all. I'd say quarter point at best now with the turmoil. They are going to bleed us to death and tell us that they're helping us. And so just watch that. I think this next meeting, They're going to cite this as a major issue to not raise interest rates, and they might even somehow start talking about QE again. I mean, I know that's crazy, but we knew it was going to happen. But look for it, maybe they won't call it QE or anything, but you can call it the end of, they're going to end QT, and then they're going to make mention of supporting financial markets in a tumultuous international, situation. But at the very least, it's cover to not raise interest rates. It's covered. At least you can wipe the half point out of the situation, unless in my opinion, I think it's probably a 10% chance of that. I think there's probably a 50-50 chance of even getting a quarter point at this point with what's going on. And you could use your tinfoil hat on reasons, all this stuff coming together, or you could just look at it as just a pure coincidence, or people taking advantage of situations. I don't know, but all I know is that this is the new world we're living in. Just real quick, and how quickly it changed, and we will see the impacts of on our own nation, and it might not be very, very good or what we anticipate, but we'll see. Biden's going to talk, and don't expect much from him. Anyway, talk to you later. Peace.